It has never been more clear for the San Antonio Spurs. We have the superstar, we have the star, we have the complementary pieces, we have the young talent, we've got some veterans. We just need a couple things that the fans are talking about, that we've been talking about on this channel, and we're going to get into it right here on Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure you guys take a spur of the moment to get every Spurs moment by hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss all the great content we have coming for you. But the San Antonio Spurs need more size, pounding the rock. Jacob Douglas wrote this, and results from the latest reader poll find the Spurs' biggest need is another big. This is coming from all the fans, from you guys, from us, everybody who supports the San Antonio Spurs. But the 2025 NBA playoffs have one thing abundantly clear: size matters. You've got Jokic, obviously, in the second round, Evan Mobley in the second round, Karl Anthony Towns in the second round, Rudy Gobert in the second round, Zubac, who played against Jokic and had a very good time against him offensively and defensively, Porzingis in the second round. Just about every playoff team has one, if not more, big men. Then you saw what the Rockets did with the Warriors, taking Sengun, Steven Adams, that big lineup with Jabari Smith. Having bigs is important, and of course we have Victor Wembanyama, but we only have Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, Bassi is going to be a free agent, Mamu's going to be a free agent, Bismack's going to be a free agent. We might sign one of them back, but size matters, clearly. The San Antonio Spurs are watching these playoffs at home, just like the rest of us. Getting more impactful size will be crucial to helping them get back to the playoffs, according to the latest reader poll brought to you by FanDuel. And this is the poll. What does the Spurs' biggest need this offseason? Big man, 46%, 42% shooting, and then another star, 8%, bench scorers, 4%. You can even take those 12% out. Really, it's a big man in shooting. If you can get another star, like Giannis, then cool. But if you can't, you can't. But that's not really the point of this one. This one, we're talking about what is to come. The latest poll found that almost half of the respondents say a big man is the biggest need this offseason. Wemby has to carry the load offensively for the first two seasons, offensively and defensively, and obviously season-ending injury showed just how thin the Spurs are at center. Acquiring another capable of manning the paint either alongside Wemby or when he sits should be a priority. Of course, we need someone else to be big inside the paint. I mean, you could draft someone like Derek Queen, Colin Murray-Boyles, you've got Thomas Sorber, you've got Maluach, you've got Noel, you've got Danny Wolf. There's people here that are going to be solid for the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs could also be in the trade market for a big. The San Antonio Spurs won't have the cap room to make a major free agent splash, but there are still talent near mid-level exceptions. Brook Lopez, you've got Bobby Portis, I like a lot, Mo Wagner, Yabusele. You've got Larry Nance, Steven Adams. There's some guys here that I think would fit this team well. I would really like Steven Adams. That would be a great guy to come off of the bench, provide size, good screener, winner, somebody who has been to multiple playoff series, been in multiple playoff games, grind. We just saw him in a 7-game series, be impactful. I think Steven Adams in this list would be someone who I would like a lot if we're going that route. But this right here, we've got a mock draft, and in this mock draft that we're talking about, because we're going to be talking about the options of like the Derek Queen route and going there with the San Antonio Spurs big. I actually wrote this mock draft. I do writing as well for the College Sports Network. The link for the full 2-round mock draft will be in the bio. I got the first 30 with some player analysis, and then the second 30 second round are just names of where people could go. This is going to be one of many, but in this one, I'll show you what I have, because I think that shooting is almost more important to get early in this draft than getting a big. And the reason being is I have us slotted at 8 with Trey Johnson. And I'll explain the first 7 so it doesn't just feel like, oh, you think he's going to fall there. Because I've seen any mock draft for him going as high as 3, as low as 8. It all depends on the fit. It depends on when we see the draft lottery, what's happening here. But he can be potentially a top 3 player in this class. 6'6", long wingspan, shoots nearly 40%. I think Trey Johnson would be one phenomenal pick, especially if he's able to go down to 8. He can create off the bounce, but he also can play off ball. With him being the ability to play off ball, you can have him, pick and roll, Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. You have De'Aaron Fox heading the pick and roll. You get him on the strong side. You're able to have him stretch the defense out so you have more room to operate when you're going downhill for De'Aaron Fox, or when you get the ball at the high post or three-point line for Victor Wembanyama. He would just add spacing. Plus, if you need to run a possession through him, he's able to get downhill and he's able to create offense himself. Defensively is where he is a little bit of a question. It's not that he doesn't have the capabilities or the tools to be a very good defender. He sometimes lacks that discipline defensively. So it's just, can you get him to lock in on both ends, and then can he be strong enough for the NBA level? I think that the strength naturally will come. He is a young guy. I think he's 19. If not, he's 20, but I believe he is 19 right now. So he's young. He'll grow into that NBA body, but it's really, can you get the discipline out of him? And with an organization like San Antonio, breeds discipline. But the reason why I think he can go here at 8 and we'd have a chance to get him at 8, actually I'm going to go through this one first. Sorry. 14, Noah Esenge. That last name, I was working on it for literally 2 minutes trying to make sure I got it. But Noah Esenge, a gifted athlete with defensive prowess. He is a versatile guy. He can play on the wing. He can play at the big-ish position. He is a little smaller, but he is 6'10", so he can play the fours, especially in today's NBA. I think at 14, this would be a phenomenal pick for us. This is an upside pick, and I understand that you could go the route of, we need to go for not only upside, but we need to get some more veteran guys who are in their 20, 22, 23 guys who can make impacts now. But I think that this guy right here would be a very impactful player coming forward for us. So I think you go with the Trey Johnson route, and then you go with the Noah Esenge route. He is somebody who is really, really good defensively, and if he's able to develop a jump shot, his mechanics actually aren't that bad. If you watch video of him, he doesn't have a bad-looking jump shot. It's just getting more consistent with it and being more confident in that jump shot, because that's mostly what your jump shot is once you get down the fundamentals of it. I believe that he could be a super impactful piece for us because he's 6'10", because he's got long arms. Then you saw how the Rockets were guarding the Warriors. Obviously, they lost. They lost because they didn't have the offensive prowess. They weren't able to generate shots in the half court. They only could really get stuff in transition. And he's not a Men Thompson kind of bouncy and twitchy like that, but we saw what Tari Eason was doing. We saw what even Jabari Smith was able to do. If you get him able to shoot the ball, he could mimic some of those kind of players. And when you have that alongside Wemby with De'Aaron Fox, with Stephon Castle, with Harrison Barnes, if he's still here, which he should be still here, and then you have that with Devin Vassell as well, along with if we got Trey Johnson, I think that could add so much variety to this team, and you could have lineups even with him at the 4, and then you could have even some bigger guys come off the bench. But I would love to get a veteran big, and then I would love to get these young guys in the draft that can be nice wing pieces for us, because I think that's our best route. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do you think our best route would be signing a guy like Abusele, getting a guy Brook Lopez, Steven Adams, these bigs, Bobby Portis? Or do you think going in the draft and maybe getting Derek Queen at 8 would be the right move? But let's go through this real quick. I just want to explain why I think Trey Johnson can fall to 8, just so you guys don't think I'm just throwing this out here for no reason. Cooper Flag is 1-1. We know that. That's just going to be what it is. I think Dylan Harper is 1-2. And I think that's almost pretty clear unless something happens over the next month and a half. But I think he's 1-2. 3 on is where things can get a little dicey. With the Hornets, they have LaMelo, they have Brandon Miller. Miles Bridges can slide to the 4. I think Ace Bailey slides in perfectly at the 3. And a guy like Derek Queen, I don't think is going to go that high. And then you got 4. You've got VJ out of Baylor. He is a gifted athlete. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Westbrook. You have you need some tenacity on that roster, and you need some guys who can play defense, get downhill. His athleticism is very, very very good. You could go Trey Johnson here, but I think that you get a lot of what Trey Johnson does in CJ McCollum. You just get a shorter version of it. So I think VJ actually shows a little bit of difference there. Con at 5, this is the one that you could flop with Trey Johnson, and I would not be mad at it at all. But I think when you have Jared McCain and you have Tyrese Maxey, you get to a position where you don't need a guy who is just like kind of like Jared McCain and Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey. I apologize. But then you get Con. You can slide him at the 3. He is a well-conditioned player. He understands basketball. Even though he's young, he's a cerebral mind. So I think Con fits there at that position. And then you get Kasparis out of Illinois. He is a guard, and the Nets need a 1. I think that he could be a guard that can really formulate and start to build something in Brooklyn there. I really like him. I think he is an underrated player in this draft. People don't talk about him as much, but I think that he could be something pretty special in the league. Maybe not like an all-time kind of special, but I do think he can be a legitimate starting point guard for in the league for years to come. And then Malawatch to the Raptors. They have a lot of guard depth. They need a big. And I think you get Malawatch there, the way that that organization is run, where he is from, I think that would fit perfectly there. And then that's where you get Trey Johnson at 8. But so that's why I think you're able to get that, because I know in the comments and I know in like a lot of circles, will Trey Johnson even be at that position? I think he could be. He possibly could go 5, and I think you could go Con there for us, another guy who can shoot, play sound basketball, and a guy who kind of gives you a veteran feel, but also is young. So let me know in the comments what you think about that in total. If you want to see what the second round looks like for the San Antonio Spurs there, we've got some picks there. I've laid that out, and that's going to be coming more of those in the future, more in depth as well. But this has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. Please let me know what you guys think about what route we can go, because we're in such a great spot. We are in such a phenomenal spot, and this really has never been more clear. Get a big, get some shooting. Everybody thinks so. We're on our way. This has been Spurs Digest with Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys. We'll be seeing you guys very soon.